we're going to go ahead and talk about really quickly here let me make sure that this is well and good pulled up so it's readable. So there were some new cards that were showcased for the. Actually, hold on. Let me do this as a full video thing, full intro video thing. Hey everyone, Larze here. We are back with some info about new cards from the Mask of Change set. Part of the new sets coming up here for Japan, and will be converted to our set later on down the line. So let's take a look at some of the new cards that have been revealed. So first off, we have Grookey, basic Pokemon. Just does a little bit of damage, 1 retreat cost, 70 HP. Nothing crazy there. Then we have Thwackey with the Bang Bang Drum ability. If your active Pokemon has the ability Festival Temperance, you may use this ability. Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Festival Temperance. I'm sure that'll come up later down the line, but that's an ability that requires another ability. But you get to search your deck for a card, put in your hand, and shuffle your deck. So that's actually a really good search tool if the Festival Temperance ability is not too, out of line to get into play. And then for 2 energy, it does 50 damage with 2 retreat cost, 100 HP as a stage 1. Well, we'll just see what Festival Temperance is later on down the line. Next up is Rillaboom, evolves from Thwackey. So this is the 3rd stage in this evolution line. It does Drum Attack for 1 green, for 1 grass energy, 60 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon's attacks and retreat costs are 1 colorless more. Okay. That is not great. But then for 2 grass energy, it does Wood Hammer, 180 damage. This Pokemon does 50 damage to itself. Also not great, but it is a grass type that deals 180 damage for 2 energy, so that does kill a Charizard EX, which is a pretty nice stat line. So, and it's a single prizer with 180 base HP, so probably not going to be played much, but really kind of depends on this this Thwackey Bang Bang Drum ability, because being able to just search your deck for any card put in your hand off of an ability like this is not bad, but we'll end up having to see. Oh, it looks like it's a Dipplin ability. So let's go ahead and get to that in a second. So Applin, HP 40, 1 grass, rolling attack, 10 plus damage. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 20 more damage. 1 retreat cost. It's just your base. It's just one of your basics. Just a basic, throw it in for evolution purpose. Nothing crazy, nothing insane. But let's get to Dipplin here, who has the Festival Temperance ability. So, evolves from Applin, ability Festival Temperance. If the Stadium Festival Grounds is in play, this Pokemon may attack twice each turn. Okay, that's interesting. If the first attack knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon, you may attack again after your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. Okay. So what does the attack do? For 1 grass energy, do the wave. 20 times damage. This attack does 20 times the number of bench Pokemon you have in play. Okay. And it can attack twice for 1 grass. And this is actually kind of good. This is actually pretty good for a stage 1, 80 HP, 1 grass energy. You just need to have a specific stadium in play. This card can attack twice each turn, and it can deal 50 times 5 times 20, which is it'll deal 100 damage. But it gets to attack twice. That's 200 damage for a single prizer, stage 1, for 1 grass energy. That's actually not bad. That is pretty good. And as a grass type, hitting for weakness, you get to kill Charizards with that. And you can pair it with the Grookey, or the Thwackey. It's the Thwackey. And that lets you go ahead and search your deck for any card you want. So if you have the Thwackey on the bench and the Dipplin in the active, you get to go ahead and search for your deck for the Stadium and then get the Dipplin attack going. That is not bad. We have to see what the Festival Grounds Stadium does. Maybe it makes it even crazier. Oh, actually, there's even more. Festival Temperance is also on the Goldeen, which is a basic Pokemon. And it has the attack for 2 colorless, Whirlpool, 10 damage, flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. And that can, and because Festival Temperance lets you attack twice each turn, you can do that potentially twice. It's a coin flip, so it's not as good, but it is a basic Pokemon with the Festival Temperance ability. And since we've seen it attached to 2 different Pokemon here, it's likely that there's multiple Pokemon in this set that are going to have this ability that you could pair with the Thwackey. So far, the best one we've seen is the Dipplin, but we'll see what happens as we go further down the line. Okay, Seaking evolves off the Goldeen for 1 water, Peck Off. 50 damage. Before doing damage, discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon. And Horn Drill for 90 damage for 3 colorless. That is a lot of damage. That's not a lot of damage, sorry. That's not a lot of damage. Not very good. Probably not gonna see much play. Finneon for 1 water energy, Aqua Slash, 30 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. Okay, that's just a basic Pokemon. Doesn't do much. Not that interesting. Let's go to Palafin. Evolves from Finneon, ability 0 to Hero. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may search your deck for Palafin EX and switch it with this Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. If you switch to Pokemon in this way, shuffle this card into your deck. Okay, so this is the ability to get yourself quickly to a Palafin EX, which is the next card on the list. In case this one ends up in your hand, it is a... They're both stage 1s. This one has a 1 retreat, the next one has a 2 retreat. And you just need to get it into the active and then move it to the bench. So let's go see. What does Palafin EX do? Hero Spirit. Put this Pokemon into play only with the effect of Palafin's 0 to Hero ability. Okay, so only with the effect. So you have to use 0 to Hero to get this into play. That is very restrictive. But it's not that hard to do, I guess, unless it ends up in your hand and then it's just kind of not great. But what can it do damage-wise? For 1 water, Giga Impact. 250 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack. So it's got a restrictive evolution. It does 250 for 1 water, and then it can't attack on the next turn. So you'd have to switch it out and back in again. Well, for 340 HP stage 1 with a 1 energy attack for 250, this is kind of okay. I mean, the evolution restriction is kind of a downside, but the damage output for the energy cost is insane, as well as being very high HP. It beats Charizard in HP as a stage 1 EX. The only thing is it's weak to lightning, which is prominent right now with Iron Hands, so that's a downside. But all in all, this doesn't look too bad. It could be pretty playable, but we'll have to wait and see. That one energy for 250 is really nice, though. All right, next up we have Swirlix. Ability, Festival Temperance. Here we go again. So what does this do for the attack twice ability it has? For 1 psychic energy, Sneaky Placement. Put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Oh. Well, that's actually pretty nuts. So it can attack twice each turn, which means you can put 4 damage counters down each turn with this thing for only 1 psychic energy. This could be pretty good in, like, spread-oriented strategies, where you just want to put damage counters down all over the place. It doesn't have to be on the active, it just says one of your opponent's Pokemon, so you can just attack with this twice in a turn, put 4 damage counters down on a benched Pokemon. You could kill off stuff pretty handily with that. I wonder if it needs to target the same thing as well, but we'll find out. So now this is Slurpuff evolves from Swirlix for 1 psychic, 1 colorless, Licky Lick, 90 times damage. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 90 damage times the number of heads. If both are tails, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. So coin flip attacks, not fun. Probably not that good. The Swirlix itself is just better than the evolution here, so Gonna move past that one. Now we're on to Dreepy, Dragon, HP 70. Slight Jealousy, 10 damage for 1 Psychic, and for Fire and Psychic, we have Bite, 40 damage, with a 1 retreat cost. So that's your just standard basic stuff. Let's see what it evolves into. Dracloak, we've got the ability Telling Spirit. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, and the other one on the bottom of your deck. Okay. So you get to look at the top 2, and then you get to just decide, instead of, it's basically the same kind of thing that a Comfy does, but instead of sending one to the Lost Zone, you just put the other one on the bottom of your deck, so it's still in there. For a stage 1 that lets you, and you can use this on the bench too, it's extra draw. It's pretty good. And then for a Fire and a Psychic, Dragon Headbutt for 70 damage. All in all, not bad. Let's just see what the Dragapult EX does, though, because this will kind of be the determining factor as to whether or not we want to run any of these. So, Dragapult EX. HP 320. Stage 2 Pokemon. Terra effect for 1 colorless Jet Headbutt, 70 damage. Not great, but at least it doesn't cost specific energy. It's just very generic. And then for a Fire and a Psychic, Phantom Dive, 200 damage. Put 6 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokemon in any way you like. Okay. This actually seems pretty nice, honestly. For 2 energy, you get to do 200. That's already pretty good, you know? 200 for 2 energy is pretty nice. Then the ability to spread damage on the bench in any way you want. 6 damage counters is pretty decent amount. That will kill Pidgeys. That will kill what are they called? It kills Pidgeys. It kills Gimme Ghouls. It kills Bidoofs. It kills very small basics. The Charmanders and all these, and a lot of these other things that have 70 HP. Like, a lot of things would have to run 70 HP basics instead of 60 just to avoid losing them to this Dragapult. Just for his 1 attack that he does. And he's not restricted. Like, it's not like he can't just use this every turn. And you can easily spread this around too in any way you want. You can just put damage down on targets and then just finish them off. If something runs away, you can finish it off with this attack. And with 320 HP, it's as bulky. It's almost as bulky as a Charizard with no weakness to it either. So it's pretty crazy. Along with a stage 1 that lets you filter out cards off the top of your deck, that's pretty nice, all in all. Will it see a lot of play? Who knows? I can't see any reason why it couldn't, but I also don't necessarily, it's not necessarily jumping out at me that it's going to be this like insane card that's going to like break the meta or anything, but it seems playable enough. Seems fun. Let's move on to the trainer cards. So Festival Grounds. Here's the big one. We're looking at all the effects for it, and now we get to see the stadium. All Pokemon in play that have any energy attached to them can't be affected by special conditions. Heal all special conditions from any Pokemon that have any energy attached to them. What? Okay, so burns, poisons, confusions, sleep, all that stuff just goes away. And you get to heal it all. That's interesting. As well as it enables all of these Festival Grounds effects. So that's a stadium to keep an eye on if any kind of effects become problematic. But mostly just for the enabling of all those various extra attack effects. Waking Whistle. Look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. Put any number of basic Pokemon you find there onto your opponent's bench. Your opponent shuffles the remaining cards back into their deck. What? Are you telling me that they're printing a card to help Snorlax stall jam the bench, to help Raikou, Palkia stuff like jam the opponent's bench further, to help mill potentially like fill out the bench, lock people out of shit. That is crazy. That's cool though. But that's crazy. That card could be, this card could be nutty. It could also be just as likely unplayable, but that's pretty interesting. All right, we have another special energy. Our final card, a spec, Legacy Energy. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but only provides one energy at a time. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, when it is knocked out by damage from an opponent's Pokemon attack, your opponent takes one less prize card. You can only use this effect once per game. Okay, so it is a rainbow energy essentially. It counts as any energy type, and it lowers the prize card value of your own card. So if you put this on a 2-prizer, your opponent will only take 1 prize off of it. This is actually pretty crazy, especially considering we just saw the Dragapult up there. If you put this on the Dragapult, even if they do take it, it's still essentially only considered 1 prizer. And since it requires 2 energy types, this could easily count for one of those energy types. Is this better than a Prime Catcher? Is this better than a Maximum Belt? Or is this better than that other new stamp card, A-Spec card we saw? That is unclear. But the ability to take a 2-prizer and turn it into a 1-prizer while also providing a specific energy type for it is interesting. And this could very well see a decent amount of play. But it really just comes down to, is this going to be better suited for your deck than any of those other A-Specs? At this point, I don't know. But it looks promising. So we'll check it out. That looks to be all that there is. The Palafin EX is located here. It looks like there's going to be a promo box for it. So that should be interesting. But that is all for this batch of stuff. Let me go ahead also one more time real quick. If anyone hasn't already done so, the Burst Roar EUIC 24 is the redeem code you can use from the EUIC to get yourself a Raging Bolt EX Alt Art promo for your special illustration for PTCGL. So if you haven't already gotten that code, here it is as well for you to go ahead and pull it. I figured I'd share that with everybody. But that is it for this video. We'll go ahead and do more of these videos coming up, showcasing new cards when they come out and talking about them. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe and check for more. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. And I'll hope everyone has a nice day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.